Now, Silk,
Yes.
girl, what's on this week's menu on the table, girl? What's on the
Well, we're
table?
going to get on down to the meat and the potatoes.
Go ahead and get on down to the meat of the potatoes.
Okay,
What's
so
happening,
starting
girl?
off, Donald Trump gave a phenomenal speech, of course, in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. And then,
In Milwaukee.
it was a speech in Milwaukee that he gave to basically, he talked a lot about the black community.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And then he went on to Michigan.
Michigan.
And in Michigan, that's when he asked the question, what the hell do you have to lose?
What do you
That's
have
what
to lose?
That's
Yes,
when
he
he
did.
asked that. And he said, you're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of the youth are unemployed. Now, that's what he said.
A new future requires brand new leadership. Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
And do you know people got offended by that?
Well, I'm on my
But
way there.
okay,
Yeah, they
go
got
ahead.
offended by that. They got offended by it, but who got offended by it?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
That's right.
The ones that don't want to see others come up. Go
Yes,
ahead. Go
he
ahead.
said, look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control.
And that's true.
That's what he said, And then that struck a chord, and it caused a lot of controversy.
Well, it caused controversy with the left because the left don't have a solution.
They don't have a solution.
And they were shocked that Donald Trump called it just like he saw it.
Yes, yeah. I found that a lot of people have been living in poverty for so long they don't even know that they are.
They don't
in
even
poverty.
realize it.
They don't even
Right. They
realize
think
it.
that it's normal.
They think that it's
normal.
And then you have a lot of people that's been hiding people in poverty, that they want to keep you stuck there by being in denial.
By being in denial that poverty even exists. Somebody was on one of these news stations and they were saying that Donald Trump is not basically he's not looking at the middle class. Really, the middle class no longer exists. It's either the rich or the poor now. The middle class is just about obsolete.
But when you look at the middle class, or the so-called middle class, they still need jobs.
They still need jobs. That's
you see
right.
What I'm saying?
Sometimes I'm just a little irritated with these media pundits sitting on the platform talking about it don't exist when it do exist.
When it really, really do exist. So yes, that brought, a lot of talk out. And I began seeing a lot of black people speaking out and saying, Trump is right.
Oh, he did shake away the black community.
He shook them away.
Because people started saying, you know
yes.
what? He's right, y'all. He's not lying about
he
that. He's not lying about.
And I really am disappointed. I can't even say I'm disappointed at the reaction to what Donald Trump said, because I'm really not. I really expected black people to go in on Donald Trump when he said that we're poor, because part of the problem is that we're delusional. Like, we don't believe we're poor. We can give you all type of statistics talking about how you should give black people opportunities. You should help black people. But the minute Donald Trump says you're poor, what do you have to lose? Black people had a problem. And it makes no sense. Donald Trump said black people are poor. He said your schools are failing. What do you have to lose? And that's just the truth.
So when Trump starts talking about going into the inner city communities and changing the rhetoric, when he talks about going into the inner city communities and offering a hand up instead of a hand out, I can't help but listen and know that it's the truth.
Donald Trump last week went to Milwaukee because of the rioting behind a police shooting of a young African-American male by a black officer. And the city was being burned down in certain parts of the black community by protesters. So Donald Trump decided to go to Milwaukee and speak about the conditions of America and why he felt black people should vote for him. He even went on to lay out reasons why he felt we should. Let me say this to the brothers and sisters who listened and watched that speech. We may not like the vessel that said what he said, but I ask us to truly examine what he said, because it is a fact that for 54 years we have been voting for the Democratic Party like no other race in America, and they have not given us the same loyalty and love that we have given them. We as black people have to re-examine the relationship.
I agree.
Where we're being pimped like prostitutes, and they're the big pimps pimping us politically, promising us everything, and we get nothing in return. We got to step back now as black people and say we got to look at all the parties and vote our best interests.
Look, I couldn't agree with you more, Quidel. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think what's going on, I know what's going on, is you take your CNNs, you take your NBC, CBS, ABC, and to a certain degree, every once in a while, the network that I won't mention because we're on it right now, they seem to have this opinion that Donald Trump is a horrific individual and he can't do anything right. And they're nervous, I think, that he may come in and start doing things the right way. And you know what? He does, I believe, is the man that is going to move things in the right direction. Look, things that come out of his mouth and the way he says things sometimes, I think, and I to myself, and I shake my head, goodness gracious. But you're right.
He spoke directly to black people.
Right.
And I want to say and encourage the brothers and sisters, Barack Obama, our president, served 2 terms. The first black president ever. But did our condition get better? Did financially, politically, academically, with education in our community, did things get better? Are our young people working more than what it was before they came into office?
They got worse.
The condition got worse.
Right.
So now we as black people have to do and remember what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. No politician can save the black community. We got to do it ourselves.
And you know what? The 6 years that you and I have been doing this, we have come together. And what's interesting to me, and I've been saying this an awful lot to people that ask me about my relationship with you, white people and black people, I say, it's very interesting. We disagree on many things, but we've also come to the middle on many other things, and we're beginning to see things the way they should be. So I'm glad you're saying what you're saying.
America's in trouble. And I want to say to black and white people, only a fool fights in a burning house. This house is on fire.
Remember that if you plan on voting for Hillary Clinton. God forbid.
And I like the quote that he said, only a fool fights in a burning house.
That's what he said.
Only a fool fight in a burning house. And people has been voting for the same system that just keeps nobody is shooting for the stars.
That's right.
Everybody have their hand low to just get the crumbs.
Exactly.
It's time to start back shooting for the stars.
Exactly. And you may not like the vessel that the message was given in, but guess what?
You have to respect, the truth. And you have to respect the messenger.
You have to respect the messenger.
Donald Trump is just a messenger.
Yes.
And he speaks for the voiceless.
That's
the
right.
The ones that don't have a voice.
Exactly.
Because they've been ran by this Democratic Party for so long that nobody is working for the need of the people, but they working for their own. It's like they learn how to quiet down. Okay. Yeah. Well, then out came,
it was like out came the grand wizard, like a slave master is how I looked at it, with the whip.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out came, like a week later.
Go ahead.
And it felt like, to me, she came out so she can calm the waters.
So she can calm the waters, or so what we say, calm the colored people, the black people, the Negroes, the African Americans.
Yes.
Calm them down because she didn't want us looking at the fact that Donald Trump can really help these communities. So let me smear him.
Right.
And really what she was doing is evoking fear in black people.
Black people.
That's what she was doing. Yeah.
And so the way she was doing it is by using trigger words.
Prejudice and paranoia, hate groups, radically dangerous, of systemic racism, harmful stereotypes, hateful supporters, racial discrimination, in dark conspiracy theories, far dark reaches of the internet, a racist lie with another racist lie, bigotry, racist, white supremacist, bigot, an anti-Semitic on white supremacist, white nationalist leader of the Ku Klux Klan, anti-Semitic death threats, conspiracy theories, racist. Thank you.
Like KKK.
Like KKK, like hate, like racist, or racism, or bigotry. Those are the key words that evoke the anger in the black man because it ties and attaches to the pain that they feel from their ancestors or about their ancestors. Right. And so it takes them back to the slave mentality. Unfortunately, that's why she played that playbook.
But how do you have a slave mentality when we ain't never been slaves?
Well,
so that's just coming from what your mama told you, her mama told her mama told her.
But the way that they're implementing it today is a new age way that they're implementing it today.
Right.
You know, back then, okay, you worked. All right. When you worked on the cotton field, they gave you housing and they gave you food. Did they not?
Girl, they used to have something called sharecropping.
That's right.
Because after slavery, it went to sharecropping. Sharecropping was I think they said it was something like you picked the cotton, and then at the end of the week when you got paid, what happened was your check went to a bag of beans, a slab of fat bag, and then they gave you an old house to stay in that was already on the plantation or on
That's right.
Yeah,
okay, so now this is the new age. Right. So you give them your vote.
Okay.
They give you Section 8. And food stamps. Or they only give you enough to quiet you down, but not enough to make a difference. Boom.
They only give you enough to quiet you down, but not enough to make a difference in these communities.
They've been doing that for years.
And that's why you have a lot of people living in poverty, and they don't think it's poverty.
Exactly.
They don't consider it's poverty because they're so used to just being handed the crumbs. Let me give you enough to keep you quiet.
That's right.
But I'm not going to do enough to make a difference. And now you have somebody like Donald Trump that want to come in to really make a difference.
Yes.
It really struck a chord to him like, wait a minute. These people have been here too.
Yes.
Why aren't their communities thriving?
Yes.
Why aren't they coming up?
Yes.
Who's running this system?
Yes.
And it's ran under a Democratic Party.
And that's where the trigger words come in. That's why it can still relate to where the slaves was the slaves, and in today, the new age. I call it the new age slaves.
The new age slaves.
That's right, the new age slaves.
Because you keep, but here's the deal. You keep voting yourself in to be a slave.
You keep voting yourself into the same system. That's right.
Because to come off of that Democratic plantation, it takes heart, it takes guts, it takes courage, girl.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's going to happen sometime when you come off that Democratic plantation.
Well, that's the fear that's been invoked in you. That if you come off the Democratic plantation, then you won't eat.
But see, that's a lie.
We know it's a lie.
Right.
We know it's an undercover lie.
Right.
But the average person that's still stuck on that Democrat plantation don't know that. They feel that that's all that they have because that's all they've seen.
There you go. That's right. And to do something different means you're going to have to change something. Some people just get comfortable where they are.
Yes.
And so they will be comfortable just being handed the crumbs. Because it's comfortable. But sometimes you'll have to be uncomfortable just the moment to get off that Democratic plantation.
Exactly.
Meaning you got to pack your stuff.
You don't have to pack.
You're going to have to run from masks.
That's right.
You can't tell everybody what you're doing because everybody going to be mad at you.
Exactly.
You see how you have to be uncomfortable?
Yeah, it may be raining some days.
It may be raining some days.
You may have to stand up underneath a bridge
That's
for a moment.
Right.
Yeah.
But then once you come off of that plantation,
once you get through all of that,
bam, look at what you got.
Bam.
You have opportunities where you can come up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like birthing yourself into something new.
Right. There
Going
you go.
through the labor, it's painful.
That's right. But you know what? You never remember the labor pains once you give birth and you start raising.
There you go.
You never remember. You forget about it. It's so much pain. You be like, how did I get myself into? I would never, ever do this again.
Never. Yeah. And then before you know it, you just been birthed into something new.
And
here comes the newness.
It's time for people to try something new and different. It really is.
But you know, when Hillary Clinton was speaking, and she claims that Mr. Trump described the black community, the way he described the black community was insulting. Insulting and ignorant terms is what he used to describe.
Under the guise of outreach to African Americans, Trump has stood up in front of largely white audiences and described black communities in such insulting and ignorant terms. Poverty, rejection, horrible education, no housing, no homes, no ownership, crime at levels nobody has seen. Right now, he said, you can walk down the street and get shot. Those are his words.
It is not an insulting and ignorant term.
I know it's not, but that's what she said.
Okay.
But the deal is, I want to ask Hillary Clinton, what rock have she been hiding under?
That Clinton Foundation rock.
Yeah.
The rock of money, honey,
Rock of
not
money.
the rock of salvation.
Because all of this stuff that she described as insulting and ignorant is what's been happening
in the country.
Yes.
That she has never paid attention to.
That she never paid attention to.
Right. She
That's
can't.
right.
When you funneling tons of money every day to that Clinton
Right.
Foundation, how you going to pay attention?
Exactly.
You trying to figure out how you not going to get caught.
That's right. And so when Donald Trump mentioned how you can't even walk down the street without getting shot, of course, you know, the left took it out of context.
Oh, yes, they
took
always
it out
do.
of context. But, you know, our condolences go out to Dwayne Wade and his family.
Right.
But his cousin was shot.
Yeah.
Walking down the street.
Minding her business.
Minding her own business. Her name was Nakia Eldridge. With her kids to register them for school, by pushing the stroller, she gets shot and killed by walking and while walking down the street.
So what Donald Trump is saying is the truth. And I cringe when I see people on TV talking about that don't happen. Maybe it don't happen in your neighborhood.
That's right.
But it do happen.
It do happen in the hood.
It happens in the hood,
That's
baby. That's
right.
right.
That's right.
And so stop acting like he's saying something off left field.
Yes.
He's telling the truth about this issue.
That's right. And keep in mind, the people that's talking like it don't happen, you just that 1%. But the other 99% that is still seeing certain things that needs to be changed, that's who we talking to.
But a lot of times when you're inside of stuff that's chaos,
Yes.
you don't see the chaos until you get out and look back in.
And
you're
look
like,
back
well, good
in.
God, this whole house is dirty.
It's dirty.
You got
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
like,
right.
for example, you stay in your house,
Yeah.
there's an odor, right?
Well,
Everybody have a
everybody have a
house
house
odor,
odor.
right? Whether it's good or bad. But then you become immune to the odor.
Yes.
But then when somebody come in, they be like, well, good God, girl, what the hell you been cooking?
Yeah.
What the heck is going
I
on?
smell onions.
But you never smell it because you become immune.
to
A lot
it.
of people are becoming immune to their conditions and their surroundings and their
Situation.
environment and
Yes,
their situation.
exactly.
And they think it's normal and
That's
it's not
right.
normal.
That's
and
right.
that's because you've been voting for the same system for
system.
50 years.
Yes.
You think that's normal and that's not normal.
And they've
We've
been taught.
conditioned.
Yes.
Conditioned to do this. But that condition keeps you stuck in a situation.
That's
that
right.
condition keeps you stuck with nothing. That
Exactly.
condition keep you stuck with high crime rate
Yes.
and high poverty.
Exactly.
And it's time to end that.
It is time to end it. It really, really is.